So when people react to my accent, sometimes I'd like to see just a little bit less immediate categorization, because my accent might suggest that I'm French, but I've spent now almost half of my life outside a French-speaking country, and I'm also an Australian citizen, although I don't have an Australian accent.
I like to see fewer comments made about someone's accent when it's not relevant to the conversation. Of course, that includes teasing, but also well-intentioned comments like, oh, you have such a cute accent, or oh, I love your accent. People with accents, they tend to hear this a lot, especially when meeting someone new. But when this keeps coming up in conversation, it continues to put the focus on their accent. And it can also make them feel singled out, almost as if they're a linguistic outsider. And this can eventually lead to insecurity about how they speak, and even make them less willing then to participate in conversations.
What I definitely would like to see more of is respect for linguistic diversity. That's easy. What I would like to see less of is maybe less assumptions based on how someone sounds. And by assumptions, I mean maybe about their competence, but also about their history or even their background. And I can make that more personal because I speak with an accent, right? And I know people always mean so well, but I actually don't like it all that much when they immediately, as soon as they pick up on an accent, ask me, oh, where are you from originally? And then the conversation goes into, why did you come to the US and all of that? And it's not that I mind sharing all of that, but it really distracts from the linguistic task at hand. They only picked up on an accent because we were talking about something, right? So I'd much rather just keep talking about what we were talking about because we were trying to communicate, rather than having the 20,000th time the same conversation of, oh, I'm from Germany and this is why I'm here and all of that. So yeah, just more overall respect for linguistic diversity and don't always follow up on it.
When we talk about so-called foreign accents, some people have the tendency to engage in what we call foreigner talk. So this very simplified, infantilized language. So yeah, please stop doing that because, having a so-called foreign accent doesn't, signal someone's proficiency in a language. It doesn't signal anything about their intelligence and so on. So, you can talk normally, whatever that means to people with a so-called foreign accent. Also, maybe engage in less of these kind of what I call microaggressive comments. So oftentimes we might compliment somebody who speaks in a non-standard type of accent or so-called non-standard accent as we might say, for example, you speak English so well, or wow, I can't really detect an accent from you, right? So these are kinds of what I would call microaggressions because, the meta communication is basically like, I don't expect you to sound a particular way or to sound, intelligible and so on because you have a certain type of accent. So yeah, try to engage less in those types of comments, I would say. Um, and just to kind of repeat myself, I think, what you could do more of, or just kind of react to the content of what people are saying. Recognize you're interacting with a human. You don't have to pay attention to the aesthetic qualities of their voice. Just really pay attention to what they're trying to communicate with you.
Really good question, and I thought about it, and I have this controversial thought. One of the things that I would like to see or hear less is things like, where are you from? You speak really good English. Because some people might interpret it as you speak good English for people that look like you. So I was sort of thinking about this instance with a quote that I learned from a presentation. If communication is the task or goal to be completed, then different accents are the tools in the toolbox. As long as we get the work done, doesn't matter what tool we use.